Tony D and Little Joan in the background with a screenwriter's rant by request. Three movies. Three movies they dropped in the comment. It's perfect. Perfect for the three trailer rant. First, there's The Lost Bus, starring Matthew McConaughey, playing a bus driver during a big fire in California. Then there's Blue Moon, starring Ethan Hawke, about a famous musical writer. And then Eternity, starring Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen, as they die, and then they got to sort out their afterlife. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy, horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 18. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. All right, so first is The Lost Boss. Matthew McConaughey plays a dad. It feels very overly dramatic because in this scene, he decides to go get these kids off the mountain. And this is from Paul Greengrass, who directed the one about Captain Sully. So it's kind of like a Captain Sully movie. It's a disaster and a dude who steps up and saves these kids. Maybe at the price of his own kid, because his own kid was stuck in a fire. I hope that's not how the movie ends, but I hope he survives. I don't know the real story. America Ferrara is in it, however you say that name. Yeah, you know, it looks like a pulse-pounding thing. Matthew McConaughey is acting. He's saving kids. He's in a bus. Sure, looks fine. Rated R for adult situations. October 3rd on Apple Plus. Are they doing theater releases for this kind of stuff? Seems like this would be a good theater release. Matthew McConaughey's got a lot of pull. Ladies still like him, I think, to some extent. And this seems like a heartfelt movie, unless it ends like terribly. I hope not. So first act, he's just trying to get through life as a bus driver, and then the fire comes, and then he gets the call, and there's a big dramatic moment when he decides, oh, I'm going to go save these kids. So he goes all the way back goes to the school, picks up a bunch of kids, and then, I don't know, they get caught in traffic first, and then somehow end up going to save his baby and his grandma, I think. And maybe the grandma dies, and he saves the baby, and I don't know, saves the kids. But doesn't he endanger the kids doing that? I'm kind of not clear on the order of events in this one. The ending, I hope it's happy, because that would be a downer if they all died. What a friggin' downer that would be. Please don't tell me they all die. Would I see this movie? Can't say I'm a big fan of this. Says explores what went wrong in California campfire, nation's deadliest wildfire in a century, and how to prevent future tragedies. What? Is this an instructional video? What the hell is this? Also including stories plural of a bus driver and school teacher who helped through a wildfire. Who wrote this synopsis? You ought to be fired. That is a terrible, terrible synopsis. What the F? Now, you've completely turned me off seeing this movie. All right, moving on. Is Blue Moon, starring Ethan Hawke. And, I don't know, he plays one of the famous musical guys. Goes to see, and it's directed by Richard Linklater. And it actually looks amazing because of the performance of Ethan Hawke, who looks nothing like Ethan Hawke normally does. It's amazing, the transformation. And it's not just the makeup. His body language, his voice. This is a stellar performance. Oscar. Right there. That's an Oscar. It should be, if it's not. Unless this movie is terrible in terms of the story. But I don't think it is. So, yeah, I can just tell from this trailer. Ethan is like knocking it out of the park. There's Moriarty from the Sherlock show, playing his partner, who's written a musical. Oh, and Margaret Qualley's in it. Bobby Cannavale, is, as always, is great as the bartender. But Margaret Qualley is the woman he loves, some hot starlet he's like head over in heels with. And then, of course, he's going to write a bunch of musicals about her. Will she know? Will she not? I don't know how true this is. I don't know the history. But I'm saying right now, and I don't like musicals at all, but right now I'm saying Ethan Hawke should get an Oscar for this, because he has transformed himself. I mean, I saw it and I was like, Ethan Hawke, is there another guy? Is Ethan Hawke a different character in this movie? And then I was like, oh my God, that's him. Watch this trailer. It's an amazing transformation. So, a lot of it, I think, takes place in this bar. So, I'm not sure what the story is, though. I think first act, his ex-writing partner has a hit musical, and now he's worried he's not going to have that hit. And then he's fallen in love with Margaret Qualley, and then I think it inspires a play that they both wrote. Here's the write-up. It tells the story of Lorenz Hart's struggles with alcoholism and mental health as he tries to save face during the opening of Oklahoma. Well, not a great write-up. I would hope a lot of it would be about Margaret Qualley, and his love for her. Richard Linklater, writer Robert Kaplow. Yeah, liking what I'm seeing here. It looks like an amazing performance. Again, calling it now, Oscar. And finally, there's Eternity, starring Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen as a husband and wife who die. And then they get to what's called the junction, and they have to, pick where they're going to spend eternity. So there are all these places you can spend, and what's the name? Miles is happy to see his wife, but then Elizabeth Olsen's first husband arrives. See, he died in the war, and he waited 67 years for her to get to the pearly gates, as it were. And now she has to choose which one of them she'll spend eternity with. The guy she was married to for 50 years, or the guy she first married and didn't know all that well. Didn't know nearly as well. I don't know who this actor is, so obviously he loses. Obviously, Miles Teller eventually wins, and they spend eternity together. So, and I'm not sure how that works. I guess they spend eternity in the places they lived and went to. That seems nice. I like these kinds of movies, I have to say. I love Albert Brooks. What was it? Not Fight for Your Life. It was Defend Your Life, something like that. So these are all... John Early's in it. Callum Turner, maybe he's the other husband. Divine Joy Randolph. I think she's the heavyset woman. November. I think she was in that movie with Paul Giamatti, right? So which man will she spend eternity with is the battle. Not bad. First act is amusing stuff with Miles Teller dealing with the fact that he's dead and learning the rules of eternity, walking around, waiting for Elizabeth Olsen to die. So I don't know how many years he spends. And then she dies. And then will she go with her first husband or Miles? Again, I think it's pretty obvious she'll end up with Miles. But, you know, it's like a play kind of movie. It really should be a play. Probably was. Not as fun as the Albert Brooks one, but some fun. Miles walking around in the first act, exploring eternity. That'll be fun because there's different worlds you can pick. One's a disco world. One's a man-free world. Yeah, I wonder who wrote this movie. And then, I don't know. I guess there's any world you can possibly think of. Here's the write-up. So they go back and forth in the second act, and then she picks Miles. From writer-director David Frayne, and starring Miles Teller, Elizabeth Olsen, Callum Turner. Yep, that's him. November. And that's what all they say. Let's see what they say here. In an afterlife where souls have 1 week to decide where to spend eternity, Joan is faced with the impossible choice between the man she spent her life with and her first love, who died young and has waited decades for her to arrive. Well, how does he wait for decades then if you only get a week to decide? That doesn't make any sense. You only get a week? I don't know. I'm not... Like, look, she's going to end up with Miles Teller, so... Let's see. You can only choose one. I mean, really, it's a rom-com wrapped up in this. I like the trappings, but I don't think I like the actual story on this. All right, so let's rank these. I got to say on the bottom is the Lost Bus. It doesn't look great. It looks okay. I don't know. The first thing I'm going to do as soon as I end this video is I'm going to look up the real story, and then I'm going to ruin the movie for myself, but I'll probably be relieved that they all lived. But then I won't want to see the movie, so there you have it. Number 2 is the Eternity movie. I'd rather see the Albert Brooks movie. That one was fun. This one looks like it'll be kind of fun, but in the end sort of serious. But, you know, if my girlfriend wanted to watch this, I wouldn't say no. It probably, at least, you know, a third of this will be fun. The rest will just be a rom-com. And this looks amazing. And again, you know me. I don't like musicals. I'm not big on that at all. I have no interest in seeing the musical numbers in the movie. I'm sure there's pieces of it, but not like a whole thing. But Ethan Hawke has really transformed himself here, I say. So this looks pretty good. And, you know, he looks like a fun guy, like a fun character. You know, usually drunks are kind of fun, at least to a degree. Plus, he's a creative guy. He's a little bit neurotic. I mean, really, I'm telling you, watch the trailer. You won't even recognize Ethan Hawke. So, yeah, absolutely, I would see Blue Moon. All right, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on the green site, the orange site, and the black site for our 2 other videos you won't see here on YouTube, because YouTube, you know. Next up for me, Friday, I'm doing the Ospreys Men's Club, which you have to be a member of to see me there. And then on Tuesday, I'll be in LBI at the Book Swap. That's Tuesday, the 5th of August, not today. The 5th of August, next week, which I'm really psyched about. So, fingers crossed it doesn't rain. I don't think it's looking sunny so far. Getting a lot of rain in South Jersey, so I'm gonna promote the hell out of LBI because it's been a while. All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you